Okay.
Okay, it's going. All right, so it's September 9th, 2015, and I'm here with Deanna, who's working on this Sierra National Monument project. And I believe in this project, so we're just going to do kind of a little Q&A and see what we get.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us who you are first, although everybody knows.
Okay, so my birth name is Paul Vasquez. My artist name is Yosemite Bear, or Bear. My friends call me Bear, and I'm known throughout the world as the Double Rainbow guy. I shot the double rainbow right where I'm standing, or right where, back that way. And I bought this land in 1988 when I was 25 years old, and it was wild land, and I hacked a farm out of the wilderness and started doing video as soon as video was going. And as soon as YouTube came out, I was like, I knew that I was supposed to do that, and I always kind of knew I was going to be a viral video artist. And in 2010 I shot a video of a rainbow right here, and it went viral, and you know, it's affected humanity all over the world. And big part of it is because I have a message to give to humanity, and I think that this Sierra National Monument project fits right in with that message, which is the bullet points of the message are: love your fellow man, walk gently on Mother Earth, and connect to Spirit. And the project fits right into especially the second and third one, because walk gently on Mother Earth is it's kind of telling us not to exploit the earth for all we can get. You know, if we could just live simply, if we can grow our own food, if we can live close to the land, if we know where our water comes from, you know, and if we can not just use up every bit of the earth, that's a big part of it. And if we can save a piece of land that's really important, I mean, it's really important. It's really saved, part of it, because of Yosemite and Kings Canyon and Sequoia and all that, but there's some that still needs protection and is not under as much protection as it needs. And that, I think, also ties in with the third part of the bullet points that I'm supposed to give this message to humanity about, is connect to Spirit. Because when you can go out and there's no man-made stuff there, you know, you can go out in nature and just be in nature, it really helps you connect to Spirit. It really makes it so that you can get downloads from the universe, which is what my viral video is, the Double Rainbow video. It's me understanding I'm in the presence of God, and that God was speaking to me and through me. And when Deanna came to me with this idea and this project, I immediately knew that I was supposed to be part of it, that I was supposed to help. Because more people need to have that space where they can go and connect to Spirit, and they can have the universe or God or whatever you call them speak to you and through you. It's just a powerful way to be able to do that, to just be in nature where there's nothing else but stuff that grows and lives and no man-made things. So yeah, I think that this is a powerful thing for me to do, and I think it needs to happen because it needs to be saved.
Good job. Man, you just like covered it all. So I'm just gonna ask you those really simple questions then, and then maybe just
let me go.
Yeah, and then
All right.
We'll return. So this is just recording, like, straight.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm really good at editing.
Okay, so I'm gonna push record, but first the question will be, you know, why you think you already said it, but I just want to have a little, you know, why you think. Look, there's a beautiful bird. Connecting, why preserving actually and protecting nature is important.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. So I think nature is important to protect for a lot of reasons. The wildlife that lives there, the flora and the fauna that needs where it's at. If humans come and mess it up, not all of the life that's there can live there. And then humans need to have spaces that have not been touched by humans, because when you're in the city, there's just like an energy around you that prevents you from connecting to spirit. And when you're on nature and there's nothing man-made around you, you really can feel that energy. You can hear nature, you can hear birds and insects and the wind, and it just opens you up. It's opened me up. Living like this way for as long as I have made it so that I'm the kind of person that can just completely open up and have spirit flow through me. And everyone knows my reaction to the rainbow in my front yard. It's famous. It's famous because I held nothing back. I just opened myself up and appreciated it. And it's really affected humanity, so much so that when anyone sees a rainbow, they say my words. And it's gone more past that. When they see anything in nature that's amazing, beautiful, spectacular, they can't help but think of my words and me relating to this beautiful natural thing in my front yard. So it's important to save for itself and for us.
Beautiful. That's exactly it. I'm tangential. I've been doing all this reading, and there was I was reading Psychology Today last night, and there was this thing on children and nature, and that when they spend time outdoors, that they say just exactly that like eventually they come to well, because other creatures need to be around, and they obviously children like bunnies and bears and birds,
Yeah.
And of course you want to take care of it for them.
Right.
But then later, the whole idea of also it's how to take care of ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Because we're creatures as well. So
you should read Last Child in the Woods.
yeah,
Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. Who's the author?
Richard Louv.
Yeah. Yes, and he's the one that's nature deficit disorder. That's the guy. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, we could all get more. Can you tell us? I'm gonna push record again, but
Okay.
tell us more about the land behind you, because that's part of the monument, and
Okay.
and what it means to you, and
Okay.
again, the whole why that would be important to protect. But you might want to talk about the state of the forest, and
Right.
it's not very good. So anyway, I'm gonna push the button again here.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep. All right. So wait. Say it again. Say what you want me to say.
No question.
Yeah.
Well, you say what you want to say.
Okay. Wait. No. But say the question
The
again.
question is, can you introduce the landscape behind
where
you,
we're at. Okay.
and explain that it's part of this national monument idea, and that it's important to you personally to protect it, that kind of stuff.
All right,
If it is, and I think it is.
All right. Is it recording?
It is.
Okay. So when I was asked to be a part of this, I immediately knew that I was supposed to, just on its own merits. But later on, when I started finding more about it, I found out that it's the land that I look at. And the land that I look at was in the Double Rainbow video. And that is significant because that's me understanding I'm in the presence of God, and God has blessed this land. And there's so much going on with global climate change that a third of the forest is gone right now. So we've obviously done something that's harming the planet, because I see it's just death and destruction all around here. And if we don't save it, I think that there's no hope for us. I think that as the forest goes, so will we go. It's a canary in a coal mine. It's the first thing that's going to go. We're next. We're next, and if we don't get into action and try and do something to protect some of these important lands, then we're damaging ourselves. It's us humanity, your children, who are the ones who are going to suffer and maybe not be able to live. So I think this is just like, it's symbolic, and it's also like trying to protect the canary in the coal mine. If you can make the environments at least so this one thing can live, maybe we can keep going.
Right on. So good. This is inspiring. I'm feeling like better about the universe now listening to your talk. It's just, I'm serious. I'm like, well, I'm feeling good. So, a question that I would, the whole double rainbow story of how like you put this online, you put a ton of videos online, and then all of a sudden this one just goes like,
right,
nuts,
right,
and what that meant, because I remember talking to you before, and you said that it was just like you didn't know what the heck was going on. Like it was, how many hits does it have? Like
42 million.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, and what that meant in terms of to you personally, and then also like what you think it means in terms of what you're supposed to do. In other words, like, not phone out of the get that out. We want you to be here with nature, okay? Here, the dirty glove. Okay, that's all right. So, you know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of a two-part question, and I haven't got my recorder on or anything yet. But the first part is the what happened, like the story of the double rainbow video in terms of like you put it up there, this thing happened, and then what you think it means. So that's kind of this happened, and then it meant this to you. Are you ready?
All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back a little bit and say that I started noticing that everywhere I went, there was rainbows. And I was like, what's up with all these rainbows? And the other part is that I've always kept a camera with me everywhere I go. That's my thing. I record everything. So in 2010, and January 8th, I wrote an email saying how I felt like I was Noah. And right when I finished sending that email, my house fills with color. And I walk out to the front of my door and turn on the camera, and that's the famous double rainbow video. Me understanding that I'm in the presence of God. Because when I walked out this way and I saw the whole thing, to me it looked like an eyeball. And I'm like, only God can have an eye that big all the way across the sky. God's here in my front yard and he's looking at me. And the video is me understanding that I'm in the presence of God. God came here, and you don't see it in the video because you don't see me, but about a third through the video, I'm knocked to the ground, and I'm on the ground holding the camera, trying to capture this rainbow. And so God touched me, and he knocked me down, and he spoke to me and through me, and people sing those words to me, and it's kind of evidence of all these things that I'm saying. And the reason why that all happened is because I'm here to give a message to humanity. I'm a YouTuber. I know someone that knows how to speak well, and I can do the job. so
Well, what's the message?
Well, the message that I'm supposed to give, the bullet points are, love your fellow man, walk gently on Mother Earth, and connect to Spirit. And saving a piece of land, this land here, it's where the video was. I'm looking at the monument, and it just makes sense that I'm supposed to save it because, or at least try and help save it because it's important, and I'm supposed to do it. This whole thing probably wouldn't happen if I'm not supposed to do these things.
Thank you. So, the other thing is that how did you find? Because you contacted me. So there's this whole backstory where I had just watched that movie, The Wolf of Wall Street. Have you seen it? Oh my God, 3 hours of like the worst part of our culture. I did not.
I have a problem focusing on anything that's like related to like financial stuff or anything.
Yeah.
So like I watched it, but I like my mind just went off to something else during it because I didn't care about it.
That's good. I was watching it the whole time and being like, this is upsetting, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's not like the guy's happy at the end. He's just kind of this caricature of the worst parts of our culture. Anyway, so I watched this, my husband was like, well, let's watch. It was his turn to pick movies. Okay, so he picked this one. We were watching it on Netflix. Anyway, and then I got this email from you that was like, hey, I'm Paul Vasquez, Double Rainbow, and I'd be interested in supporting this project. And I was like, it was like right after, so I was like, like there's hope for humanity. So I was like, this is how I felt. So I'm not recording any of this, but if you can express, like, I don't even know how you found out about it. A friend of a friend, or and
I don't know how I found out. But
maybe it doesn't matter.
I dip my brain into the internet. You know what I mean? And soak up and pull out whatever I think I'm supposed to use.
Yeah.
I know how to tap into the consciousness of humanity, and I know the things that I'm supposed to be a part of and I'm supposed to do. And it was obvious from the instant that I saw it that I was supposed to be a part of this.
That's cool. I'm glad. 'Cause I need your help.
yeah, and I think I can help. I think that I am someone who's fit to do this. To help. I recognize it right off.
I didn't record any of that. I'm just
I got it.
To you.
Yeah,
it's all good. I was just listening. So, we'll take a minute here.
What are you doing with that brush, you dumb dog? Don't be chewing on that. No.
What about this? I'm gonna have to think of how to phrase the question right.
Okay.
What do you think that? And I mean, this is kind of a deep question here. The cure would be, since I just was watching The Wolf of Wall Street, and I was like, oh my God, turn that off. Turn it off. The whole materialism that pervades our culture and basically leads us astray from like happiness and sort of wholeness and the whole thing. I better turn this back on. Hold on. Oh wait, I don't know how to use this thing. Okay. So I guess that's kind of a hard question. Why do you think we get lost in that, and how do you find your way out?
I think humans that think that they're not a part of nature. I think humans think that they are above nature, or that nature is this other thing. And what a lot of people don't understand is we're all part of the same thing. And if you are harming something that's near you, you're harming yourself. And I think that people are stuck on consumerism and just using up the resources of the earth. I think it's the invader mentality. I think it might not even be their generation. It might be just this gene that's in them that tells them to go to this other place and extract all the riches it can from it. Because someday, even if it's not them, their genetics is going to take it back to their home planet or their homeland, wherever they're from. And so that's why so many people just want to extract everything they can from the earth so that it can make themselves richer. And that's the problem we're having with the oil. We're artificially wealthy because of the wealth of oil. It does so much work for us, and it makes it so easy. But that in the long run is not going to help humanity. It's gonna weaken us.
So what's the solution?
The solution, I believe, is getting back to land and working the land and living, knowing where your food comes from, where your water comes from, having these wide open spaces that we don't mine or harvest or use. They're just wild and they're free, and whatever's there is the thing that God put there. I think that's I think that's the answer there, because if we just use up all the earth, we're using it up all for ourselves. We have to have at least some big pockets of nature where nothing's been touched. It has to be that way.
So now I just have a question about, it's more of a personal question, like you know, I'm not recording, but I will.
Okay.
What do you think? So there's the materialism, right? And that doesn't really make people happy. That's why people get obsessed, because they can never get enough to make them elevated, right?
Yeah.
The way that they want to be. So they're just kind of stuck in that loop. So, well,
that's the want.
Yeah. So what's the, you know, what's the solution to that? In other words, like, so the question I was really going to ask is more personal. Like, what are the things that make you happy?
Yeah.
Because in that answer, you kind of answer that other question, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, what makes me happy is living in the now, appreciating what I have and not wanting what I don't have. Wanting can't be filled. When you get what you want, the thing that you got, it doesn't seem as great anymore, and that want just transfers to something else. So if you can just like learn how not to want things, and instead, okay, I'm supposed to do this thing, or that would be good for my life, just work towards that and not want it, right? And then the other thing is, if you can just appreciate what you have, like me, I'm dollar poor. People would see my old house and everything and think, oh, that guy's like lives below the poverty line and all that. But I think I have the feeling that billionaires have. I have 100-mile views with complete privacy that hundreds of millions of people have seen. Beautiful women from all over the world come here and volunteer here for free, right? I don't pay them. They just come here because they want to be here in nature, and they don't have no clue that I'm famous or any of that. They just want to come and work on the land and be connected to nature. That's something that rich people don't have, right? You know, they live in the city. They got to work. I don't have to do any of that. You know, I don't hear no neighbors. I don't hear no cars. I'm here, and it's all my land, and I get to connect to spirit because I only see my own stuff, and I only want what I have, and I really like what I have, and I don't really want anything else. And it makes it so that I can live a lot more simple. I grow some of my own food. My goal is to grow most or all of my food, and make my own energy. You know, I already have my own water. I have my own well. If you can do that, if you can live more simply, you know, the earth can't support all the people that are living on it in middle class, right? The earth can support us now if we all lived as dirt farmers. You know, if we all had a little piece of a chunk of land and we could grow our own food and make our own energy, sure, the earth could support that, but everyone wants big cars and they want to fly all over the world. You know, they want more and more. They want more houses. Everyone wants to be rich. It's the want. The want's killing us. We're like a virus. Humanity is a virus on the earth. And we're wrecking it for ourselves. Once the earth can't support us anymore, then humanity's just going to die off. You know, so I don't know. I'm trying to live simply. I have my own well. I'm growing my own food. You know, I just want to be here on the earth and not consume it. I want to save it for my ancestors.
So, another question in
Okay.
relation to all this is then what, and then we're done.
Okay.
You're probably getting tired. What then would your hope be for humanity? In other words, like, yeah, that's it. What's your hope? If you could change things.
Well, if it was up to, it can't even be up to me, but if people could just live more simply. It's not possible when you have the cities like that. It's an artificial situation. But if people could live closer to the earth, if they could grow some of their own food, make some of their own energy, if we could not want to have big expensive cars and fly all over the world, I think that humanity as a species can do just fine. But I think we're doomed if everyone just wants to be, oh, I want a big car, I want to fly wherever I want. we're going to use it up. It's going to be gone, and we won't survive.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
So I mean, there's a few haters, and we talked about this already. Where I don't think the haters are going to be a factor in this, and so to the haters, I want you to know that you're wasting your time, right? This is not your opinions, and your say-so is not going to be a factor in whether this happens or not. Sorry.
I hope you're right.
Well, it's only hubris if you're wrong. Right? And you know, when I got to Yosemite, I said, these Yosemite Indians need my genetics. They need my genes, you know? Yeah. And people all along, they're like, what an ass, you know, who do you think you are? But you know what? I was right.
Yeah.
You know?
Thanks for your help.
No problem.
Let me turn this off here.